Hello everyone and welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Monday, January 17th, and this is the NBA DFS video for today. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a quick recap of yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about the injuries in play for tonight's slate. It is going to be the 6-game main slate, so it's going to be the tonight slate. There is an early game slate today as well. Most sites have it as the first 6 games, too, since it is Martin Luther King Jr. We'll not be covering that one per se, but I'll still be listing, like the injury updates and the starting lineups and everything else like that for that slate as well. Then I'll be going over my picks in FanDuel and DraftKings for the main slate tonight as well. But without further ado, we'll get into yesterday's picks and see how they turned out. So on the DraftKings side, we had Jordan Poole, $5,400. Looking for, 27 points on him. He got 29 points yesterday, so he was a hit. Terrence Davis, who ended up in the starting lineup, $3,700. Looking for 19 points out of him. Got to 40.5, so he was an over 10 times value yesterday, so he was a massive hit. Then some of our cheaper options didn't quite pay off the way we were looking for them to. So Andre Iguodala, $3,700, looking for 19 points out of him. Got to 6. He was a mess. Played 20 minutes, 0 for 4 shooting from the field. Not a lot of other stats either. Thought maybe he'd have a nicer game with Steph Curry and Draymond Green both not playing. That did not end up happening, though. Then we had Jeff Green, $3,800, looking for 19 points out of him. Got to 9.25. Had been playing pretty well. Had been playing bigger minutes. This game just didn't go quite the way the Nuggets probably wanted. Jeff Green didn't have the best game either overall, so he was a mess. 20 minutes, 2 for 4 shooting. Not a lot of other stats yesterday as well. Then last but not least, at the center position, Christian Wood, $8,000. Looking for 40 points on him. He got to 52.5, so he was a really good hit as well. So a really hit or miss day on the DraftKings side yesterday. We had the good hits, but then we also had the misses on some of the, cheaper kind of like dart throws that we were playing yesterday. So, but when you're on a short 3-game slate like that, sometimes these value guys, if they pay off, you hit it really big, and sometimes if they don't, that's just kind of like what really hurts your lineup overall. But on the FanDuel side, we had De'Aaron Fox, $8,000, looking for 40 points out. He got to 20.6. He was a miss. He only played 26 minutes as he did get ejected in this game last night. If he plays closer to the 36 minutes like we were expecting, probably a little bit closer to what we were expecting out of him at his price tag. Then at shooting guard, we had Jordan Poole, $4,900, looking for 25 points on him. He got 25.3, so he was a hit. Terrence Davis at small forward, $3,500, looking for 18 points on him. He got to 42.7, so he was a massive hit on the FanDuel side as well. Then at power forward, Christian Wood, $7,300, looking for 37 points on him. He got to 50.3, so he was a good hit once again as well. And then last but not least, we played Richaun Holmes, first game back, $5,400, looking for 27 points on him. He got to 6. So he was obviously a mess. He played 15 minutes. He shot 2 from 2 for the field. Didn't have a lot of rebounds or anything like that. So just not a good day for him overall. It was a little bit of a risky pick, but on a 3-game slate, sometimes you have to take a little bit of a chance as well. So 3 out of 5 on both sites. An average day, I'd like to do a little bit better than that. On most days, I'm shooting for at least 8 out of 10 between the two sites. So definitely going to be right back at it today with some more picks. But with that being said, we'll get into the injuries in play for tonight's slate. I'll say even the injuries in play for today's slate too, just because we do have those early games today. So the first game we do have is a 12:30 Eastern time start, which is the Pelicans and the Boston Celtics. Zion Williamson and Marcus Smart are out for these two teams. So no major changes there. For the Charlotte Hornets, we got Kelly Oubre out. No changes there. New York Knicks are still without Derrick Rose, Cam Reddish, and Nerlens Noel. Kemba Walker is questionable to play today. We'll see if he's back or not. Otherwise, Alex Burks looking pretty good once again in that starting lineup. For the Philadelphia 76ers, they're without Danny Green, Shake Milton, Ben Simmons, and Matisse Thybulle, so we should see Furkan Korkmaz in that starting lineup once again. The Washington Wizards have Bradley Beal listed as questionable. We'll see if he ends up playing today or not. So that's going to be a big piece of news for the early slate at the very least. Then we move down to the Brooklyn Nets, who are without Kevin Durant, Joe Harris, James Johnson, and Paul Millsap. They are playing on the road, so Kyrie Irving will be available in this game. But Kyrie Irving and James Harden probably both looking a little bit better today, obviously with no Kevin Durant in the lineup. Nick Claxton is questionable to play. And then LaMarcus Aldridge is probable, so it looks like he should be back tonight. Then for the Cavaliers, Rajon Rondo is listed as out for this game. Lamar Stevens is questionable to play. If Lamar Stevens ends up missing, if Cedi Osman gets in that starting lineup, he could be a pretty decent little value as well. Then moving down to the Pacers, they are without T.J. McConnell, Miles Turner, and T.J. Warren. So it looks like no Miles Turner tonight. Domantas Sabonis looking pretty good. Whoever ends up being that 5th starter tonight is going to look pretty good for that Pacers team as well. And then Jeremy Lamb and Malcolm Brogdon, both listed as questionable. We'll see if they play tonight or not. So it could be a little bit of value on this Pacers team overall. Then on the Clippers side of the ball, Jay Preston, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George are all listed as out. Luke Kennard is doubtful to play, and Justice Winslow is listed as questionable. So getting somewhat healthy for the Clippers, obviously outside of their big two, but not a lot of value there probably at this point in time, especially compared to some of these other teams. Then we have the Chicago Bulls, who are without Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso, Tyler Cook, Javonte Green, Derrick Jones Jr., Zach LaVine, and Patrick Williams. So you're pretty much looking at what we saw the last time out for the Bulls. Could be some decent little value there once again. For the Grizzlies, Dillon Brooks and Killian Tilly are both out. And then Yves Pons is listed as questionable, so we see if he's back tonight or not. If you are playing on the DraftKings side or on Super Draft, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Atlanta Hawks game is on the main slate. If you're playing on DraftKings, that game is not on the main slate. Just an important note there. For the Milwaukee Bucks, they're without Langston Galloway, Drew Holiday, and Brook Lopez. Pretty much what we've been seeing out of them the last couple of nights. And then for the Atlanta Hawks, they are without Clint Capella and Bogdan Bogdanovic. So pretty similar to what we did see the last time out for the Hawks as well. For the Portland Trailblazers, they're without Damian Lillard, Larry Nance, Cody Zeller, and then CJ Ellaby is doubtful to play. Norman Powell's questionable, so we'll see if he's back tonight or not. But we do have the return of CJ McCollum to that starting lineup for the Portland Trailblazers today. After he's missed a couple of weeks now, I believe it was like broken ribs and a collapsed lung. So hopefully he's back and he's healthy and he's looking good. But he had missed some time, so that we may not see quite as big of minutes out of him tonight. For the Orlando Magic, Wendell Carter, Michael Carter-Williams, Markelle Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, and Etuan Moore are all out once again tonight. So no major changes there at this point in time. Mo Bamba did return the last time. He did come off the bench in that game. We'll see if he ends up starting tonight or not. Then for the Toronto Raptors, Kem Birch, Goran Dragic are both out, and Gary Trent is listed as questionable to play. Obviously, if he has not played a couple games now, so we'll see if he's back tonight or not. For the Miami Heat, Kyle Lowry, Markieff Morris, KZ Okpala, and Victor Oladipo all listed as out. And then Bam Adebayo is questionable to play today. He's missed quite a bit of time. We'll see if he's back tonight or not. That'd be a big boost to this Miami Heat team overall. But, without Kyle Lowry starting, it'll be interesting to see who starts in his place. And that player could potentially have some value tonight as well. For the Thunder, they're without Kenrich Williams and Vit Kredic. So no major changes there. I mean, Kredic is a new one, but not really too concerned about him. For the Dallas Mavericks, they are all the way healthy at this point in time, which is pretty good to see out of them since, Luka and Kristaps have both missed quite a bit of time so far this season. Then we move down to the Phoenix Suns, who are without Frank Kaminsky, Abdul Nader, Dario Saric. DeAndre Ayton and Cam Johnson both listed as questionable to play. DeAndre Ayton did get hurt yesterday. I do assume that he does not end up playing tonight. And then Cam Johnson's missed a couple of games in a row now. For the San Antonio Spurs, Trey Jones is out once again. Then we move to the final game of the night between the Utah Jazz and the Los Angeles Lakers. This game does start 2 hours later than any other game on this slate, so it'll be interesting to see if there's any additional value for late swaps in this game. Probably not so much on tonight's slate, though. But for the Utah Jazz, they're without Hassan Whiteside and then Elijah Hughes and Jared Butler, both listed as game time decisions, but both probably not a major part of the rotation tonight either way. For the Lakers, they are without Anthony Davis, Kendrick Nunn. Then we have Carmelo Anthony listed as questionable. He did miss the last time out. And then LeBron James and Dwight Howard both listed as probable to play tonight. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries in play for today's slate, for tonight's slate, however you want to call it, just because we do have the early slate with 6 games and then the main slate with 6 games as well. Well, I should say the main slate with 6 games as well. If you are playing on FanDuel or Super Draft, if you're playing on DraftKings, it's just a 5-game main slate. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my picks over there. So we're going to start off at the point guard position. I got Cole Anthony, $7,300, looking for about 36, 37 points at him. Currently have him projected for about 36, 37 points. He's averaging 38 points on the season. We've seen the kind of upside he can have on any given night. Portland Trailblazers, not the greatest defensive team, a team that typically plays with a little bit more pace as well, so this could be a little bit higher scoring game. Could benefit somebody like Cole Anthony tonight. Then at shooting guard, we have Lou Dort, $5,300, looking for 26, 27 points out, averaging 27 points on the season. I currently have him projected for 27 points once again tonight. Has a little bit of upside for more, has a little bit of downside for less, but definitely looking like one of the better values at shooting guard, at least early on today. Then small forward, we got Jimmy Butler, $8,900, looking for 44, 45 points at him. Currently having projected for 45, 46 points tonight. Probably going to take a little bit bigger role tonight with no Kyle Lowry out there, so don't be surprised if Jimmy Butler has one of his bigger assist games once again tonight. Could be a threat for a triple-double even. Not saying it's going to happen, but there is a possibility of it. So Jimmy Butler, especially at $8,900, is going to be a player that I'm going to have a lot of exposure to tonight. Then at power forward, we got Keldon Johnson, $5,100, looking for 25, 26 points out, averaging 27.5 points on the season. Currently having projected for about 26 points tonight, but definitely has a little bit of upside for more as well. Then last but not least, I'm going with JaVale McGee at the center position, $3,700. Looking for about 19 points out of him, averaging almost 22 on the season. Currently having projected for 23 points tonight. As I mentioned earlier, I do not expect DeAndre Ayton to play in this game. If Ayton does end up playing, this is obviously a pick that will change throughout the day. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players, you'll have $19,700 remaining, just over $6,500 per player. So probably going to have to get a little unique in today's build. We don't have quite as much money to spend right away, but hopefully there's a little bit of values that open up throughout the day as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there. So on FanDuel at the point guard position, got Cole Anthony once again, $7,500. This time we're looking for 38 points out. Currently having projected for about 37 points tonight. Everything I said on the DraftKings side still applies. Playing against the Portland Trailblazers, not the best defensive team in the world. A little bit of a pace-up spot as well, so could benefit a guy like Cole Anthony once again tonight. Then at shooting guard, we have Grayson Allen, $4,600, looking for 23 points out of him, averaging just over 21 on the season. He returned. He's been playing big minutes. He's been playing rather well. So I currently have him projected for about 26 points tonight. We've seen him go over 29 points the last 2 times out since his return. So 26 is actually a pretty modest projection for him tonight. So he does have a little bit of upside as well. Then at small forward, we have Keldon Johnson, $4,900, looking for 25 points out. I'm currently having projected for about 26 points tonight. He's averaging about 26 on the FanDuel side over the course of the season as well. And, he's a guy that always has a little bit more upside as well, but not a guy that typically hits it too often. But if he does, and it happens tonight, definitely going to send the lineup straight to the top. Then in power forward, we're going with Bobby Portis, $6,300. It's a reasonable price tag at this point in time, looking for 32 points out, averaging just under 32 points on the season at this point in time. Currently having projected for 32 points once again tonight. He should definitely be a decent little value once again on tonight's slate. Then last but not least at that center position, went with JaVale McGee once again, $4,900, so he has a heftier price tag on the FanDuel side. Looking for about 25 points out. I currently have him projected for 24 points, but he definitely has a ton of upside for more if he's in that starting lineup, if DeAndre Ayton's not playing. But once again, if Ayton does end up playing, this is a pick that will change throughout the day as well. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players on the FanDuel side for tonight, you have $31,800 remaining, just under $8,000 per player. So you can definitely pay up for 2 studs if you want to pay up for a Giannis, a Luka, LeBron James, anyone like that. You can definitely do that and then plug in some values to pair along with them. Or if you want to take a little bit more balanced approach, which is something that's worked pretty well on the FanDuel side so far this season, you can definitely do that as well. But with that being said, these are my picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings for today, January 17th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's on FanDuel or DraftKings. If you want to talk a little bit of Super Draft, can definitely talk some Super Draft as well. And with that being said, if you are someone that was following the Super Draft live stream with JC Money Design and myself, we will not be doing that tonight since it is an earlier start time. And then as always, I'll be listing all the injury updates, COVID news, and starting lineups down in the comments below, as well as an updated core about a half hour before lock. Sometimes it'll change just depending on the news that does come out. And with that being said, just be sure to note the start times on the 2 different slates. So the updated core for FanDuel may be out sooner than the updated core for DraftKings, just because there's an hour difference in the start time as well. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at CoachCraigSports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL, helping you with your fantasy football teams. I know fantasy football season is essentially over at this point in time. So I'll be going over a little bit of dynasty stuff here and there in the coming weeks, a little bit of NFL draft prospects. If that's something you're interested in, definitely be sure to check that out as well. And then with that being said, if you are a newer current subscriber who's yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily NBA DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special little shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.